Yep, NBA free agency was wild this summer. So let's talk about some of the losers from free agency. All that coming up in about 20 seconds. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And in this video, we're going to talk about losers in the NBA free agency.
Those are winners.
Before we jump into that, just remind you, check out the YouTube page, check out the podcast, rate, review, like, and subscribe. So, losers!
The biggest losers. And when I mention these, Jay, you'll notice the theme amongst each one of them by the time I get to number one. But top three losers in NBA free agency. Number three, the San Antonio Spurs.
Ooh.
Losing DeMar DeRozan and I think this is going to hurt more, losing Patty Mills to champion Patty Mills to the Brooklyn Nets, which is brilliant for them in terms of what he can bring to the table. Yeah, lost Patty Mills. Yeah, Olympian. So, and not replacing them with really anyone other than your draft picks, which as a free agent, I mean, how hard is it to get people to San Antonio? It's not easy at all. So I think that they're going to be gunning for the first pick next year. I don't know who the early round of the top players are going to be coming into this draft next year, but I think whoever that is, there's a good chance that that individual is going to be a San Antonio Spur because I don't see them winning many games with the roster that they have. I know DeJounte Murray is pretty good. Jakob Poeltl's pretty good, but outside of that, they don't have anything to threaten anybody. And this is actually starting to, some might say expose Greg Popovich. That maybe outside of having the Hall of Fame 3 that he have, or 4 if you count Kawhi, that maybe he's really not that good of a coach, especially given with, the USA basketball team, fantastic. They won a gold medal, but just the way that they played old. It's that San Antonio system. So maybe that is not attracting people to San Antonio. But either way, they did nothing to make this team better. They got worse, and they're gunning for a number one pick next year.
I mean, if they gun it, it'd be probably Chet Holmgren.
Yes.
He's the
Gonzaga?
Yeah, Gonzaga now. Yeah, He's Gonzaga. He was high schooler. He was pretty nasty on the court when I saw a couple of his games. But I think Chet is the consensus right now as far as the mocks go. I mean, it probably won't last. There's so many decent players in college right now that we're not sure of. Got a few of the G League Ignite guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
We're not sure what it's going to look like yet, but Bates, didn't he reclassify?
I think so. Yeah,
I think he did reclassify. So I think he's actually going to college now. So I don't know. We'll see what the draft looks like at that point. But San Antonio, I'm going to be in agreement with you on that. I don't think it exposes Pop. I think it's more so now for him to retool. He has to start from scratch again. He needs to go find himself 3 really good players that most likely aren't from the United States and make it happen. Because his big 3 last time were all, international players technically. So, yeah, true. Let's go.
All right, number 2, the Dallas Mavericks, who Luka has just signed his 5-year deal with that we mentioned earlier. And somewhat similar to that, I didn't see any acquisitions that would make Luka feel that this team is better, especially on a team where the player he hates the most, Kristaps Porzingis, who thinks
still there.
Is still there.
How is Kristaps Porzingis still there?
Because the league sees what Luka sees, that he thinks he's a 1, but he's actually a 3, a third option. And he just doesn't know it yet or isn't willing to accept it. But there was nothing that they did that was going to truly make this team better, because all Luka is thinking about now, I mean, forget the NBA Finals. He's just like, how can I get past the Clippers? Especially if at some point this season, I don't think they will, but if some point this season they get Kawhi back, how do I get past this team? 2 years in a row, they have knocked me out. I'm not waiting till I'm 27, 28, or 29 to go far in the playoffs. I want to do it right now. So there's nothing that they gave him that will help him to do that.
No, the problem I see with Dallas is that their biggest issue is Luka Doncic. I'm gonna be real.
How so?
Luka is very ball dominant, and he does everything. And what happens with that? It wears you down in a 7-game series. That was basically the Clippers' strategy. Let Luka cook. He'll fall apart by it. As long as we get to Game 7, they're good. And that's what happened. And so the Mavericks have to add a player that can take the ball out of Luka's hands on a regular basis. Split the ball handling 50-50 so Luka has an opportunity to hop in the post or catch it on the side and hit the little step back. But he can't handle the ball nonstop because no player in the NBA has ever been able to win championships always handling the ball. That's why it was Pippen and Jordan running point and Kerr running point and Paxson. There was a mixture of people running point. You can't have one person doing it. LeBron learned that a long time ago, which is why he really went. That's why he went to Cleveland and was okay playing with Kyrie because he needed to be off the ball sometimes. And this is why the Lakers are going to work.
See, and this is what I don't understand about Dallas. And I do understand it. And I get this question a lot from people who talk about not only the Dallas Mavericks, but really the Dallas Cowboys. They say, okay, why can't they get big time free agents? I mean, you have this owner who's willing to do anything for you. Great facilities, top 7, top 8 city, plenty to do in Dallas, plenty of money there for you. No state tax, but yet they cannot get any free agents that have an impact. And I'm telling you, it's the same thing with the Cowboys as it is with the Mavericks. Players don't want to play for a rock star owner who wants to be front and center of the franchise and who's always hovering over the franchise on and off the court. They don't want to play for them.
I don't know about that.
How would you explain this? They didn't get a single free agent that makes a difference. How was that possible?
They didn't get a sniff. I mean, the Rockets rarely get a sniff. I mean, Pat Riley kind of hovers. Well, he's not an owner, but he's front office. But no.
Well, it's like Pat Riley is 12 or 15 rows back. Mark Cuban is right next to the bench.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, it's a valid point. Ballmer is too, and they haven't attracted a single free agent.
He's a lunatic. I kind of like it. He's theatrical. It's funny to watch, but he's a lunatic.
He's a raging lunatic. Worth $100 billion too.
Ridiculous. Now, when they get that new stadium in Inglewood, things might change.
Yeah, I think players may reconsider. They're like, what?
He ain't that crazy.
I can deal with that. There's a little niceness there, but no. Right. I honestly, I don't think there's really an explanation to.
I'm telling you, it's the owners. It is the owners.
It may be the rock stars, but he's known for taking care of his players, and the players love him because he takes care of them. Like, he babies them. He provides them everything you can imagine that players want. Like, they're pampered perfectly as professional athletes, and until to this day, they can't. Hell, nobody wants to go down to Houston and deal with Tillman for some reason. Well, I can see why I want to deal with Tillman, but James Harden spilled the beans on that. So, oh boy. Okay.
All right. Number one, biggest loser in NBA free agency, and I told them not to do this. They did it. They did exactly what I told them not to do, but what I told them that they would do, and that's the Portland Trailblazers, who had no draft picks, so no help there. And again, not a single impact free agent. They did re-sign Norman Powell, who I really like. I think he's a good player. But outside of that, I don't see anyone that they picked up that will not so much not have an impact on the court, but that will convince Dame that this team is aggressive, that they're all in, that they're going to find a way to get better players next to me along with what we have so that we can compete in the West. Since, I'm telling you, Jay, a lot of people see this. They see the West is wide open because they don't think that Phoenix can do what Phoenix is not going to surprise anybody. With a target on your back now, it's going to be a lot harder for you. They say the Lakers are old. Nobody's threatened by Utah. Kawhi's not going to be with the Clippers. Jamal Murray is out for the Nuggets. So they look at the West as wide open. So to Dame, this is the perfect time for the franchise to be all in, be hyper aggressive. Pay the luxury tax if you have to, and they did absolutely nothing. Unless I'm missing somebody.
Yeah, no, you're not missing anything. What do you think about them trading for Porzingis? McCollum for Porzingis? Because this thing about Porzingis, this is the one thing I see about the unicorn.
Okay.
If you get him the ball in spots, he could be productive and put up 20-something.
True.
The problem is that with Luka, he literally has the ball all the dang time. Well, that was where the beef came in for him, is that he didn't feel like he was getting the ball in his spots. I mean, why would Luka give you the ball though, bruh? He's Luka. But that's an idea. You're right. They did not put or do anything around Dame like they needed to. They need to find a way to get a trade going. That's when the problem. They need to trade something.
Exactly.
Trade somebody.
Something.
Ship something out.
Yeah.
Something needs to happen.
Furniture, cash considerations.
Yeah,
stocks.
Hey, that's a great player though, man. Cash considerations, man. That dude, he's been moving around a lot, but hey, dude produces. He produces something. So take cash considerations and go get you somebody.
Somebody.
I don't know.
So, yeah, Spurs 3, Mavericks 2, Portland 1. It's going to be a tough season, I think, for all three of those teams for this reason. Unless they can pull something off at the trade deadline that nobody sees coming, they're going to struggle.
I agree. I totally see that. Good list, Jimmy. I'm actually impressed with that. So.